morning, Joy.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I am great.
Are we the only ones on this?
I think so. I don't know. I don't have anyone else registered for today.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's really up to you how you want to. I know you've already done the master training.
Right, right.
So,
I'm
um,
glad you said that because I have 11:45 eye appointment with my ophthalmologist.
okay.
I had surgery,
I know. I know. How's
yeah,
that going?
couple of months ago. So, yes, the main things, Joy, that if you would,
Yeah.
uh, that have really kind of stifled me.
Yes.
I understand how to input the input forms. I understand the amendment. I understand uh, how to process through it. It gets when it gets to. I looked at the existing easy HUD ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I cannot get it through my mind. If the buyer is paying the buyer's premium,
Mm-hmm.
but on the HUD one, uh, oh, what is my phone? What is dinging? Oh, that's, I'm sorry. Let me
No, that's okay.
turn off this alarm. My wife usually gets it because it irritates her. So she usually turns it off before me. Okay, so that's what's really got me stifled because when the HUD comes out, it shows that the commissions show up on the seller side.
Yes.
And that's why you can understand how
Sure.
if the buyer's paying, why does it show up as a seller credit?
So the way it works is we'll use just round numbers. Say the seller accepts, we've had three offers on the platform. They accept
Right,
one for $100,000. They wouldn't, we're just using round numbers.
right,
And it's a 10% buyer's premium. It's $10,000. So you take the actual offer of $100,000, you add the buyer's premium, which is $10,000. Now the purchase and sale price of the property is $110,000.
correct,
So
correct,
that goes on the purchase and sale agreement. And then it proceeds as just a regular transaction. So on
right.
the HUD, that $10,000 is going to, again, look like it's coming from the seller side because that's already included in that purchase and sale price.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
The the hundred, so it's 110,000,
Correct.
and because that's now the price, the sale price of the home, and
Right.
that's what that's how we
Yes.
move forward.
Yes.
Okay, when the costs are figured out, when the costs are identified, um, that's what's getting me. So
Mhm.
even it sold for 110,000, 10,000 worth of commissions. Why is it again?
Well, it wouldn't all be commission. So that would be up to your title company to break that out. So on the seller side in the HUD, it would show commission. So it would say whatever that is spelled out in the purchase and sale agreement, right? So that would be,
Yes,
let's just
yes,
say 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the buying agent, 1% to the easy platform. And then if there was like you, then it would be maybe seller's concessions.
right.
Yeah. So the title company would break all those out. And so that's where and it would come from the seller side. It would be a line item on the seller side. So it would say commission, just like it regularly is, to whatever brokerage, commission to whatever brokerage. And then it says easy platform fee, and that's that 1%. So that's on the seller side. And then like if there were any seller's commissions or however a title company would break those out.
But I'm still not understanding why is it coming from the seller side? If
Because
I'm
we're
if I'm
adding the
saying the
buyer's
seller pays no
commission.
commission, what's got me. I'm selling this to my clients as a zero commission,
Right.
zero seller commission
Correct.
listing, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And then I'm explaining how the buyer's premium works
Right.
in this.
Yep, because the buyer's premium is added to the offer price.
the offer price.
Right.
I get all of that. My
Yeah. So
only question
the
is,
buyer is paying the buyer's premium. They're including it into the price of the home. So they're mortgaging all of that.
all
So
of that is in the mortgage.
well, yes, all of it's in the mortgage or it's coming out of, however the buyer wants to have it come out. If they're paying closing costs and then having it come back, that's up to them. But from a real estate standpoint, because we're adding the offer price plus the buyer's premium, now it becomes a totally different purchase price. That purchase
Right.
price is the same as if someone just
Hey,
offered on the property $110,000 and your seller was still paying those commissions.
okay.
So that's why it's the exact same thing. So it's literally the same thing as if you said, "Hey, we're not selling it on the platform, but somebody came in, offered me $110,000. You accepted, Mr. Seller, but in that real estate transaction, you're paying 3% to the listing side, you're paying 3% to the buy side, you're paying a 1% fee. Well, you wouldn't in that case, but say you are, and then you're giving the rest as seller's concessions. It's the exact same thing.
Okay. And you've done these, so
Hmm.
have you ever had a seller question you and say, why do these commission costs show up on my side of
Yep.
the estimated
Well,
HUD?
and then
Or
that's exactly how I explain it. I say,
oh,
this
okay.
is how the process worked, right? You accepted this
I'm
offer
gonna
at
call
100.
you, Joy. I'm gonna call you. Hey, Joy, I'm sitting here. We're ready to close, and the seller just
Yeah.
asked me.
Yes, yeah.
I'm
Well, but
kidding.
you would
I'm
explain it
kidding.
the exact same way. You would say, "Hey, Mr. Seller, remember we put this on the platform and we put it on at $90,000. We accepted that $100,000 offer.
Right,
Now, the buyers are paying that 10% buyer's premium.
right.
So when we talked about net to you, it was $100,000, which look over here on the closing statement, net to you is $100,000.
Okay.
They're exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
Now, you see where this line item is showing that this came out, but that's the buyer's premium. So you would just add it up and say, look, see, this equals the buyer's premium,
Okay.
right? And that got added in to the purchase price of the house. So you'd see a line item on the ALTA saying the purchase price of the house is $110,000,
ten thousand
not
dollars.
$100,000.
Right.
Right. So that's how you just explain the math to your seller. Look, remember, see here, it's $110,000. It's not $100,000 because the offer you accepted is $100,000. They added that buyer's premium. Now it's $110,000. So we're just deducting that buyer's premium. It looks like it's coming out of your side, but we both know that the buyer paid it.
Okay. The other question I have is,
Does that make sense though?
no, it makes sense. I just
Okay.
gotta juggle it in my head a little more, but it makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, here we
on the
can look at,
buyer side, when the
yeah,
buyer premium is used, okay, they're financing the whole entire cost of the home, which includes the buyer's premium, right?
correct.
The how does the buyer now like get the direct monies to be paid for interest buy down
Hmm.
or other things that they may want to do? How does the buyer?
Yeah, so that would just be broken apart again by the title company. So however that title company words it, it really just depends. I don't know if they line item it in there saying 2-1 buy down, or if it's all considered seller's concessions. Again, so in an ALTA, right, it just breaks down, and I'll pull one up so we can actually look at it. We'll look up the Allen Story ALTA.
Okay,
I'll share my screen and we'll kind of walk through.
okay.
It will be great. We'll try and get an ALTA example of how that would look like on a document from it. And I can maybe talk to the title company we work with and see if, hey, how would you do like a pretend, how would that look like? But we can do that. But I'll
Have you
tell
had
you,
to,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
no, go
have you
ahead.
had to explain how this works to a buyer's lender?
You don't need to explain it to the lender. you can explain it to the buyer's agent, but the lender doesn't see it. The lender only sees the purchase and sale contract. They don't see that it's a buyer's premium. They don't see any of that. They just see
Okay.
they just see
Okay.
the total
Okay.
amount, right?
Okay.
Does that
Gotcha.
make sense?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So in that agent hub, we can go through that Allen's document and it goes through all of the well, that's not the well, we don't want the hazard. Here we go. Closing statement.
Yeah. Closing statement. Yeah.
So can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can see on here, the purchase and sale
Right.
was the 475,000,
Yes.
right? And so then it does on the seller side, you have a debit of commission. So in this case, the buyer's premium was the commission for the listing side, the commission for the buying side, and the easy 1% of the easy platform.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's exactly where it broke out. So this is always the buyer's premium.
Got it. Okay.
Well, unless, of course, right, it's up to negotiating. We can always have one where the seller says, I'll pay your commission, but I'm not paying the buy side.
Right.
So then in that case, again, that would just be how we would deduct a bit, right? So instead of it being a 6% buyer's commission, it would only be a 4% buyer's commission, whatever that is. But so again, if that occurs, then they get the offer, they accept that offer price, then they add the 4% to that, and then that total amount becomes the purchase and sale agreement. And again, on the closing statement, it would still look like that buy side commission came
Right.
from the seller side, as well as the easy platform.
Okay.
Now, again, here on different closing statements, you can see on a 2-1 buy down. I don't exactly know. I think it depends on your title company. Some of them, I don't know how they break it apart. I don't know whether it's probably not under commissions. I don't know whether it's under title fees or sometimes it's under like miscellaneous.
Okay.
But they would break it out and they would say like rate buy down, or sometimes it might all just be lumped into seller's concessions,
Okay.
right? And even the lender doesn't care about the seller's concessions. Like if you've gone through a negotiation with the regular transaction, right? And we've gone through inspection and they say, oh, look, we're asking for $1,200 worth of repairs. And you say, hey, can we just give you $1,200 in lieu of repairs? Yeah, great.
Right.
So
Right.
you don't even tell the mortgage company about that. They don't care. They
Right.
just, but on the ALTA or on the HUD, you would show that. You would say seller's concessions of $1,200.
Right. Okay.
So again, and we Michelle works with title companies and we work with a specific title company that understands our process. And so we would be able to direct them and say, hey, look, this is a buyer's premium. 3% goes to here, 3% goes to here, 1% comes to easy, the rest is seller's concessions.
That's what I was going to ask, Joy.
Yep.
Do we have access to use those title companies? I know we have a lender approved. What's his name? If I'm doing a double-sided deal,
Yeah.
uh, I already talked to I forgot his name, but I talked to him
Yeah.
before, and I actually have uh, his information on my website. So
Mhm.
uh, if I'm doing a double-sided deal, I'm directing buyers to get approved through him.
Mhm.
Um, and we had a conversation already. But
Yes.
can we use your title company? What I'm trying to do before I ever
Yep.
get a deal done, Joy, is
Yeah.
eliminate as much
Yep.
explanations and
Yep.
stuff that I have to. And I
Yeah.
know the title company makes a big. I knew in the HUD one, the title company is the one that breaks everything out per the instructions on the purchase agreement. So I wanted
Correct.
to make and the amendment. So I wanted to make sure, can we use the same title company or do you use them?
I believe that they have it. We can ask Robert they would recommend does nationwide title. So yeah, I can find out exactly what that name would be. I'll make a note to do that. I know he's been negotiating with somebody, so I don't know if he's finalized something like that, so I can ask and find out what where that's at. But yeah, because that's sure, it's very, very helpful to work with a title company that's already done a number of those transactions. But most title companies are pretty savvy about that. I know that when I here in Tennessee, the couple I've done, I worked with my own title company that I've used, and I just had Michelle explain it to them, and it was like a 10-minute conversation. They were like, "Oh, okay, I get it." So,
Okay, I've used
but
a First American Title and escrow almost exclusively, except for when I've used Chicago Title or one of those.
mhm.
Uh, but I use
Yeah,
First American.
absolutely. And I think that that would be a useful training topic that we could maybe do on a Thursday is have a title company, and you know, I'm sure you're not the only one who is confused by how that would look. Um, because I've also, and I'm actually working on a deal right now where I'm representing the buy side, and
Okay.
I'm going to try and get the seller to use the easy platform and reverse engineer it,
Uh-huh.
so that the buyer would be using a buyer's premium to do some of those things. And they're just going to agree to utilize, just if they accept our offer, put it on the platform and run it through the platform.
Running through the platform. With an
Mm-hmm.
offer already accepted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
great. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so again, so we can kind of, that's an option that if you have buyers that you find a home that they're interested in, but they again need some help somewhere. Maybe they want to do a rate buy down. Maybe they want to do, you know, some other repairs, and there's no other way to do that other through a buyer's premium. So you can switch
Okay.
it up and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to make an offer and I'm gonna ask the sellers to run it basically through the platform. It would be listed, but it would be put up but sold at the same time.
Okay. And now, and you had to negotiate with the listing agent to
Correct.
move it over to the platform.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in the process of doing that now, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Okay.
we're negotiating on price and kind of that kind of thing. So,
Well, Michelle, this is I'm kind of after going through the training, the initial training, then the master training. I'm kind of I'm kind of a student with how the process works. I was stuck on this right here.
yeah,
This was the real point, and I was I was hoping and praying that I could ask you, Michelle, could we just go to this one point and
perfect.
you clarify for me because
Yep.
I just found out I they just called me this morning to come in for my eye exam, by the way, about 7 o'clock. And
Yeah.
so I was going to ask you for that, but this was the main thing that was a stickler for me.
Okay.
And since you told me Michelle will actually talk to my title rep to explain the process,
Yep.
then that gives me some security. If Robert says we can't use the easy title company, that gives me some
Yep.
kind of peace. And now I can effectively move forward because the way I operate, Michelle, is I'm sorry, Joy. Joy, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
The way I operate is I send when I contact a seller, I'm
Mm-hmm.
usually talking to them over the phone.
Right.
I've gotten the conversation down to the point where now that I have the easy, I can easily transfer where the benefits are. And I
Mm-hmm.
send them information. And I just go over the information on the phone and say, now I'm ready to come over. What time are you available?
Right.
And when I go over there, I'm telling them I'm coming over for you to sign the agreement. And they'll say, okay. And I said, by the way, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you a copy of the agreement so you can read over it because it's kind of long. If you have any questions when I get there, just highlight what we need to do, and we'll go over them one by one. So when I get there, and there is work for me like that, always. It's just work
Absolutely.
for me.
Yep.
and my clients appreciate it because the time wise they don't have to spend a lot of
Right.
time,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And so that's I wanted to be confident that when I was talking to them, and I always send an estimated seller net sheet,
Mm-hmm.
as part of that,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so
Yeah, so
I
really, I
feel
mean,
much better.
yeah, we don't even really need to talk to our sellers about all the necessarily ins and outs of that. I mean, you certainly can, and it's certainly you need to understand it. So I hope you do. But again, for the sellers, their bottom line is what am I, when I'm sitting at closing and I sign the documents, what does that number look like to me, right?
Right.
What does that number look like to me? And that's when you do the net sheets. Well, great. If you do a regular listing, this is what your net sheet's going to look like. You're going to have to take out that commission. With us, you don't have to. And you can say there if you want to. It might be more confusing for them in that initial listing, saying, "Oh, but it'll still look like we do, but we don't." That might be confusing for people. So I've never even done that. I've never even said, "Hey, well, it'll show up like this." Because honestly, I don't think that they care. When we go to the Alta, when we get it, usually we get it 3 days before closing. Then I
Uh-huh.
then I run through it with them and say, "Hey, here we go." And if they say, "Well, wait a minute, why is that coming out?" And I'll say, "Oh, yes, that's actually the buyer's premium. Remember how we had calculated the buyer's premium? That doesn't affect your net that we had already talked about." And then I'll walk it through them, just like we're walking through any other cost on the Alta.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
because I do the preliminary, I do that prior to the signing or at the signing. I actually send over the net sheet.
right.
Now what I can do is I can send over my normal net sheet and I can send over a net sheet showing the buyer premium. And
Mm-hmm.
that will, and I think
Yep.
there's an example
Yep.
on the easy form, on the easy calculator,
There
how you
is.
can do that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I've been doing, I can now do that with easy, send over two net sheets, one, a
Yep.
normal net sheet showing what you would get.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is the net sheet with the buyer premium. And that's kind of worked for me, Joy, where
Yeah.
I've sent over my clients and they've appreciated it and I've not
Yep.
had a problem, not
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
problem.
Yep. 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 And that's what you should show them the net sheets and let them know, hey, look, this is what your savings is. Not only is
Right.
it, but there's
Exactly.
and I usually have a sheet and I can create one too. Um and I'll ask Kat about where she houses all of those. So with the master agent training, I created a number of like kind of cheat sheet documents
Uh-huh.
that are available. I want to see where those are at so I can tell people where they're at. But
Are they on the
um,
platform?
they should be there. So when you go through the master, they should be part of your training course, but I'm not sure. I'll ask her where they're exactly located.
Yeah,
Because
because
it's like when you take the master agent training, there's a workbook associated
right,
with it, and that workbook should have all of those documents. But one of them is a sheet that it's like a highlight sheet of what the easy platform offers. So one obviously is the power of the buyer's premium because you don't have to pay those commissions.
right,
Two is because I think these are the three things when I'm talking to a seller that no other agent can offer, right? Look, I can offer you a option where you don't have to pay commission.
right,
I can get your home sold in half the time,
right,
and I'm going to increase the amount of traffic and increase the amount of traffic at an open house. So we're going to maximize your exposure. And there's no other agent in my area that can do that for you, unless they're also a master certified easy
of
agent.
course, of
Right.
course.
Those are the three things that nobody else can touch because they can say, oh, any other agent can come in and say, well, I have this premium marketing plan. Okay, great. Yeah. Uh, does that, if you have a premium marketing plan, but we're also putting a house on the market that's 10% below market value,
Right,
which do you think is going to attract more buyers? We both
exactly,
know it's going to be the other one, right?
exactly.
Um, and those two, I all know, and I always tell my clients, those first 2 weeks on the market are just essential. They're just essential. And so literally
Absolutely.
doing the easy platform, there's absolutely no downside for you as a seller. Worst case scenario, very worst case scenario, we don't get the offers coming in, but that's a worst case scenario, right? We know as an agent but I would much rather have had a maximum amount of people in those 2 weeks' time. And then even if I have one or two people that have raised their hand and said, I'm interested, maybe their offer is not exactly what you want, but I now have people to negotiate with.
Exactly.
Whereas if we're gonna put it just on the market and just hope for the best and wait around, and then we'll have to do a price reduction and then wait around, and then, no matter what agent you are, you don't have I don't know of any marketing agents or any kind of marketing system that beats the Easy platform. I don't know. I mean, again, you can send out emails as an agent, you can do social media posts, you can do all of these things that agents do, right?
Right.
Which I myself can still do, but they can't offer a open, transparent bidding platform that engages people, that gets the maximum amount of people to an open house. They can't offer that. So as a seller, I'm always saying, hey, like, why would you not even at least try this? Because one, it's gonna, at the very minimum, it's gonna tell us what the current market value really is of your house.
Really is. Yeah, the
Really is.
offers that are coming in are
Yeah.
going to show you how. And that's kind of like, that's why when Robert was saying to use RPR, which I use all the time, use
Mhm.
RPR for years, to show what's really happening at this day, at this time.
Right.
How does the market look?
Right.
And that's why I say I kind of have that conversation over the phone as I send them things and they're talking to me, so that when I get there, they have questions.
Right.
And then we are signing a document and I'm ready to, I'm ready to go out the door. I usually, what I told Robert, and now with the Easy platform, what I'm offering my sellers, I'm offering them that I pay for the termite, you pay for the inspection report, the home inspection.
Yeah.
And I'm going to explain to them the reason you want to do that now.
Yeah.
And I actually place the inspection on the MLS with your listing. Buyers can make decision on what they want to do because
Yeah.
they can see the inspection report. If they want to do their own inspection, fine, later on that you have to give them that. But now they see the things that have to be repaired. So they're making offers based on knowledge that they have upfront,
Mhm.
and they're not coming in later saying, okay, yeah, I want to do an inspection report, and my inspection, what's the findings of the inspection report is going to be pending on if I ask for a reduction in the price or I ask for more money from you
Right.
to get these things fixed.
Right.
I haven't ever done that. It's something I'm going to try to see how it works.
Mhm.
But that's the only expense I'm going to ask my buyers to do is if you'll pay for the inspection, home inspection, I'll pay for the termite. And let's get this stuff on the
Yeah.
MLS right away.
Yeah.
And I think what you're telling me, what other things that Easy offers, you know, it's a no-brainer. It's like a
Right.
no-brainer. So
Right.
I'm hitting this thing heavy, Joy.
Yep. Good. Good.
I'm hitting this thing. That was the only real baffling thing that had me
Yeah.
stuck. I was literally
Okay.
stuck.
Perfect. Well, I hope I helped answer that. I have a quick question for you. What do you
Yes.
think for as a training standpoint, what would be helpful to to add some training on? I've thought about doing like a leads generation type training, like give some different options for lead generation for people. Are there any other topics too that you feel like would be really needed, helpful, would help you as an agent say, hey, I could really, if I had these, almost like an agent roadmap. And
Uh-huh.
look, you've taken you're now a master certified agent. What now? Like, and we can kind of give them a little, almost like a little yellow brick road to follow. Would
I
that
think
be
kind
helpful?
of like I told you I reviewed the video with y y the young lady you did a master training with,
Okay. Mhm.
the new lady. I forgot her name.
Donna, I think it was Donna, maybe.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just last week when I
Yes.
email you back and told you I was going to review her video first. And I think some of the things that would be really good is if you did a point A to Z,
Okay.
right? And that use a camera and do the yellow brick road analogy, right? That's a good one, Joy. The yellow brick road. Use a
Right. Just
camera
follow the yellow brick
design.
road, right? Just follow the yellow
Yeah,
brick road.
yeah, and just hit those points. Okay, this is how you start. Blah 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 blah, and just make it point A to Z in a. I only said that because you brought up the yellow brick road,
Yeah.
but that would be kind of something nice to throw in there, and just the main points of how you input the information. This is
Mhm.
what you do on your contract. This is why the addendum is important. Then you go to here, here, and here. A real quick. And by the way, this is how you finalize everything.
Mhm.
And in a real quick summary.
Perfect. Yeah, and then I can have like accompanying sheets, like kind of a same thing, like a roadmap, like
Yes,
step one, step two, step three, and almost like a
yes,
checklist. Did I do that? Yep, I did that. Oh, I forgot to do that. I got to go do that.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Well, again, this is up to you. I'm happy to answer any other questions or if you need to go, or I mean, again,
No,
this is for
you,
you.
you have uncluttered my brain. I've been dealing, I've been
Well,
dealing
I'm
with
glad.
that. I've been dealing with the HUD situation in my brain going up and down,
Sure.
running numbers, and I couldn't, get to why is it showing over here
Yeah, yeah.
with the buyers?
Right.
Why does it show up like that? But you definitely clear it up. Thank you, Joy.
But that's a good one that we can actually really run through all the scenarios with, maybe with the title
Yeah,
that can help
yeah,
that. I think
yeah,
that would be good.
absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
We can do that as a topic Thursday, maybe. And then at least it would be recorded too, so people can go and
Absolutely.
cover it.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Well,
Well,
thank
I'm
you,
good
Joy,
if
for
you're
your
good.
time
Yeah, absolutely.
and your efforts. And you guys, I know you guys are working agents and brokers also. So, I commend you on, being, helping to pull this whole thing together for us.
Yep, yep. Well,
And
that's kind of
also
my
doing,
job. I like to see people succeed and for it to grow. So
yeah, well, I'm gonna start pushing this thing. I'm gonna get this
good.
thing rolling here in a minute and really
Good
push
deal.
to I'm looking to get at least 10 sales closed before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Before
great.
the end of the year. Yes,
Good
absolutely.
job.
I'm talking about not in the system actually closed.
Yep.
I'm
Good.
pushing to get, you know.
Good.
Okay,
Yeah, well, however we can help support you, that is what we're here for.
great. Thank you so much, Joy.
Uh-huh. Have a good rest
Okay.
of your day.
You too. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.